Hello everybody, Robbie Susan Chandler here, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Quincy, Florida, close to Tallahassee, Florida. Today is number 6 in my series of Christmas cards made with the beautiful one-horse open Sleigh Designer Series paper. This is an online exclusive from Stampin' Up! It's not in our catalog. It's only online, and the item number is 162118. A beautiful set of paper, and this is number 6 in my series, and today we're going to use these 2 sheets of paper to make the card. But previously, this was the 2 sheets I used for card number 1. This was card number 2. These 2 were card number 3. These 2 I used for card number 4. This one sheet was card number 5. Today's card are these 2, and I'll be filming one with this sheet, and then this was an extra one in the set that I did not use. So let's get started on this card and take a look at the card. It's a Z-fold, and it looks like this, stands up like this, and when it's folded up, this is the view you see. It's kind of hard to show a Z-fold from a camera angle up there, but you get the idea. So let's look at the pieces we need. Let's start with our card base. This is, oops, as it flew off, this is Misty Moonlight. 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches, and it's scored at 5 1/2 in the middle and 2 3/4. And to fold this card, we fold it in. And make sure you get it straight there, which mine isn't. Let's see if we can straighten it out some. And then you fold this flap back on itself like that, and then you have your Z-fold. Now let's look at the designer paper. Let's start with the front piece. This piece ends up being 4 1/4 by 4 1/8, but here's the piece I started out with, and I cut 3/4 inches off this side, 3/4 inches off the bottom, and 1 1/8 inch off the top. So you can see I cut more off the top, and then on the sides it was just this 3/4 inch off each side, and that left me with 5 1/4 by 4 1/8. This piece down here that I cut off, I used to stamp my sentiment on. I thought that looked pretty cool on that, so that was the piece the sentiment was stamped on. So okay, this is the piece right here that we just cut. Alrighty, and now let's look at the 2 pieces for this side. And that was cut from this piece. And they end up being 2 1/2 by 4. But let's see how we cut those. Get all my little papers straight here. Okay, so this is the piece we used. Now if you notice, had quite a slant at the bottom, and I wasn't quite sure how to use that, so I decided to cut most of the bottom off. In fact, I cut 1 7/8 inch off the bottom, and after I cut that off, as you can see, that much is gone. Then I just cut 2 1/2 inch off this side, and then I cut 2 1/2 inches off this side, and it left this piece down the middle, which I didn't end up using for anything, but you would have this piece if you wanted to use it for something else. So these were our 2 side panels that we adhered right here. Alright, so that's a pretty easy start to that card. So now we're at the point where we have our back section and our 2 side sections. Now on the back of this card, I have a piece of basic white that's 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches, and I stamped the tree from a Regal Reindeer and Jingle All the Way from a retired set called Holly Jolly Wishes. And my Merry Christmas on the front was also, I'm sorry, a retired set from Framed It and Festive, but I wanted a real small Merry Christmas there. That was the only one I could find. I was going through my stash. So I stamped this in Misty Moonlight, and this is Mossy Meadow. And then I just adhered it to the back of my card. So there's all the pieces that we have to adhere, and here's our little Merry Christmas. Now I also cut this tree with the die from Horse and Sleigh, and this is out of Early Espresso, and I put it just right behind my sentiment right there. Alright, let's talk about, speaking of the Horse and Sleigh, let's talk about them. Now, they're stamped in black memento tuxedo black on basic white, and this is the Horse and Sleigh, and here's the die that it's cut from. It's from this set. And also there's a little die in there that cuts this piece, and I just cut it out of silver foil. And let's look at this part. So here I already have my sleigh, my horse stamped, and here is one that's, I'm going to show two different ways I colored it. This one I colored the sleigh with shaded spruce, and this one I colored it with mossy meadow. But let's talk about the other colors in it. Okay, to start with, the reins here, I colored all those in with, here it is, dark smoky slate. So that's this part and this part, all the reins on the horse. I also colored the hoofs in with that. And then the man's coat. The man's coat I colored in light Misty Moonlight, and the woman's coat I colored in with the dark Misty Moonlight. And their caps, little hats, I colored with light Real Red. And the blanket that they're covered up with, I colored it in with dark Cherry Cobbler. And of course here's the mossy meadow that I used on the sleigh. And for the facial features I used the light petal pink. And my horse, the body, I used with one called Deep 200 or SU 200. It's in our blends, in the blends one in our natural collection. You have to look for the naturals. It's not the same place where the cardstock and all is. It's on another page separately. And then the mane and tail I colored with one we call Medium 500 or SU 500. Now I want to show you a feature I did on the Horse and Sleigh. The Horse and Sleigh stamps with this railing on the bottom. And if you just glue the silver right on top of it, you'll get this look. Can you see the white in there? And I kind of decided I might not want it that way. So I took one and I cut that railing out. And then I glued or adhered my silver railing right on top of it like that. And here's one I've already glued together. And I really liked that look better. So let's put this Horse and Sleigh down. I've got a bunch of dimensionals back here to make sure it stays. This is really a neat set, and it's another online exclusive. You can only find it online. Okay, let's put our Horse and Sleigh. Let's see. How about right here below this fence going across here? We don't want them flying up in the air. Alright, so here's our card. Now, Merry Christmas. You open it up, there's our Horse and Sleigh, and on the back you can sign your name and Jingle All the Way. I thought Jingle All the Way is very appropriate with riding in a one-horse open sleigh. So I hope you like this card, and we'll try to do it. Make it yourself. There's a link for a free tutorial, not a flea tutorial, but a free tutorial. I hope you'll like my video and subscribe to my channel. I think it's kind of interesting that I'm doing Christmas cards today because our weather here in Florida is horrible. It's 95 degrees outside, but it feels like 110. Perfect day to stay inside and make cards. So, I'm making my cards. I hope you're making some too. And until next time, happy crafting.